There was another match that I was looking forward to, but we found out that we couldn't have it. It was Ryback, Big Show, and The Miz for the Intercontinental title.
But the promo was fucking
The
amazing.
promo was great. What ended up happening is on Monday night, after Monday Night Raw, Ryback found out that he had a staph infection in his knee. They took out 20 cc's of liquid out of his knee, and he's on a very, very strict antibiotic regimen and things like that. He apologized to all of his fans on Twitter, and they had to cancel the match. What ended up happening is The Miz came out. And I said to both Wendy and Brockus, is he going to come out and they're going to like do a Big Show Miz fight, or is he just going to come out and talk shit? And of course, he just comes out and talks shit. And Brockus decides to pick on him for his
choice of wardrobe. It looks like he went through his wife's closet and was like, hey, Maurice, are you going to wear the shawl? I think I might want to wear the shawl. He said went with like these weird like pants. They're like skinny jeans at the very bottom, but at the top,
they sag like hammer pants.
It's so
They really reminded
weird.
me of hammer pants.
So anyway, The Miz is talking shit. He even brings up, which I brought up to you and I brought up to you when we were watching it, that The Miz, Big Show, and Ryback were all in the ring in Tough Enough Season 4.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like, Deus Ex Machina, they're gonna fight, and it was predestined because of Season 4 of Tough Enough.
Mm.
So he brought that up, and he said he was the toughest guy in the WWE, toughest guy in the arena. And I said, are we going to see someone jump out of the middle of the arena as a new wrestler like they did with Steve Blackman? They kind of did it with Santino Marella. They also did it with Ken Shamrock and his whole I'm the Enforcer bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, are we going to get a new wrestler? This is going to be awesome. Instead, we hear Big Show's music. Big Show walks out to the ring. Miz starts trying to talk to him. Big Show gets into the ring. Miz keeps talking. Big Show punches Miz in the face, says nothing, turns around, and walks out.
And makes the Miz look like he's wearing his wife's tube top. His shirt goes flying up.
He was just laid out across the ring.
I'm not going to lie. Mr. Mizanin, if you are listening to this, you have fantastic abs. I am jealous. I'm not going to lie about this.
But you look like you were wearing skinny jean hammer pants with a tube top and your wife's shawl. You need to change your wardrobe.
Jacket or something. No, that looks extremely comfortable. And if I had the money, I'd be buying something exactly like that. What really made me make fun of him was because I've seen a lot of his behind-the-scenes stuff and his humor. I follow him on Twitter. I follow his wife on Twitter. I follow him on Facebook, and I follow his wife on Facebook. I swear, these two are the kind of people that would probably, like, you hear a friend say, like, dude, did you just steal your wife's, like, jacket or something? He would be that guy who'd be like, it looks better on me anyways. That's the kind of humor this man has, and that's why I usually attack him like that.
Jerry Lawler said the best thing. He said he looks like he borrowed the coat from a bag lady.
A little bit.
So, all right, let's talk about the main event. This is the match I was looking forward to. This is the match that Wendy was looking forward to because I wanted to see it. She wanted to see it. I don't know if you wanted to see it. I wanted to see Seth Rollins, without the authority, get taken to Suplex City.
Yeah, I pretty much wanted to see that.
And did we see him get taken to Suplex City?
Not as severe as it could have been, but we were damn close.
It was like 16 or 17?
No. He only got 13.
They counted it to 13.
They counted to 13. The record is still John Cena got 16.
That's where Suplex City started.
Yes. Now, this match was one-sided. Brock Lesnar came out, stalked the ring. Seth Rollins kissed the title, probably for the last time, and they went at it. Well, I should say, Brock Lesnar attacked Seth Rollins like a lion after a wounded gazelle.
If Ryback didn't have this shtick, it was feeding time for Brock.
Oh my god. And then, okay, after the first 5 suplexes, Seth Rollins rolls out of the ring, grabs his title, and tries to skedaddle.
Did not work.
Didn't work. You don't see it happen. You just catch the end half of it, but it was fucking amazing. Brock Lesnar dives out of the ring and then hurdles, without touching it, hurdles the fucking barricade and grabs Seth Rollins and throws him back in.
while a fan has his hand over his mouth in complete shock and awe, like, did this motherfucker just jump over that barricade?
Like, even the announcers were saying that.
It happened so fast. Brock Lesnar, what did you say? He's not the beast incarnate. He's a freak of nature.
And he is the beast incarnate. Like, I swear, that boy's got the devil in him.
And then he took Seth Rollins back into the ring for 3 more suplexes before Seth Rollins finally started attacking his chicken legs.
And then he got 6 more suplexes.
And the whole time I'm going, okay, Seth never wins on his own. Who's going to come? Who's going to come? Who's going to come?
2 things happen before the end of this match. 1, Wendy decides to insult Brock Lesnar, and we could swear he heard her.
Yeah. It was off screen, but I could feel it.
Oh, that was during the, like, when he first came in.
When he first came in, she said, "Does his sword on his chest not look like a dick?"
And immediately I'm thinking, he heard that, his head twitched, and his immediate thought was, this bitch.
Yeah.
The second thing that happened was what Brockus was talking about. Seth Rollins super kicked Brock Lesnar 5 times. Not just 5 times throughout the match. 5 times in a row.
The first 2 were good.
The next 3 were like, I'm pushing your face.
He's just trying to put distance between them and doing it in a very pathetic way. Like when that really weak guy in a comedy is trying to keep the gangsters away from him, so he grabs onto the bar and he's, yeah, stay away!
The best part was when friggin' Brock bitch slaps him, and then, like, Seth tries to bitch slap him back, and he's like, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Brock has compared it to when Iron Man in Avengers 2 busted out one of the Hulk's teeth. The look on Seth Rollins' face was, I'm sorry.
Because Brock turned to him, was like, bitch, did you just slap me?
And so Heyman's counting to 7. On the 8th one, which turned into the rolling German suplex, which turned into 8 and 9, and then 10 and 11, the audience joined in with counting. He got to 13 suplexes, and then Seth Rollins was like, I'm done. Brock Lesnar picks him up, puts him in the F5, goes to pin him, screen goes fucking black, and we hear a bell toll. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Brockus sits up. We know what's going on. And
I knew what was going on, too.
Wendy knows.
I've heard that, and then we've already seen, like, everybody gets chills when that bell tolls.
And we were like, this is bullshit. It's not going to happen. And Brockus even says it's not.
It's not WrestleMania season.
So this can't be happening. Who the fuck shows up but the goddamn Undertaker?
He doesn't even walk down. He's right there in the ring.
Which means we don't know when it happened. That bastard, he's my favorite. My absolute hands down favorite wrestler of all times. Was underneath the damn ring the entire time. Or hiding somewhere. Shows up. Goes to chokeslam Brock Lesnar. Brock counters it. Undertaker counters the F5 into the chokeslam, into a tombstone, into a second tombstone, and walks away.
We have no idea what the hell we had just witnessed. I just couldn't stop repeating, it's not WrestleMania season. We haven't even hit SummerSlam yet. We haven't had TLC yet. We haven't had the, what is it?
We haven't even had Survivor Series yet.
Survivor Series. We haven't had Survivor Series yet. We haven't had a lot of key pay-per-views, like even Night of Champions. They're not doing it so heavy anymore, but still, we haven't had key pay-per-view events to get even close to Royal Rumble, and all of a sudden we have The Undertaker coming in and basically manhandling Brock Lesnar.
And on top of that, the internet wrestling community was silent on this. Nobody said anything about The Undertaker possibly showing up at Battleground. Not even a really main pay-per-view. Battleground. To screw Lesnar out of the WWE title.
This is like the equivalent of Hulk Hogan coming back on for Payback. Payback is one of those pay-per-views that they just kind of throw out there because they have nothing else to do. They switch back and forth from Payback over the limit, Payback over the limit. They don't know what to fucking do in that.
But what does this mean? What does this mean? This means that there's a possibility that Taker's back. That we're going to see him on Raw, we're going to see him on SmackDown, we'll see him on other this rivalry is going to continue. It's not just going to be this happens and then, oh no, he's got a rematch with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. This has the ability to turn into his comeback and him be part of the main roster again.
Now, this also gives me a bit of hope. I didn't actually discuss this with you earlier, but recently I did watch Stone Cold's latest podcast, where he had Paul Heyman talking about Battleground. Specifically, they were talking about Brock Lesnar and everything that has been going on with Brock Lesnar, including losing the title with Seth Rollins and all that. Towards the end, Paul Heyman actually kept pushing the subject of, how about you come and we'll do a match at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar. And he kept pushing, well, maybe it wasn't actually at WrestleMania, but he kept pushing the idea of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar. And Paul Heyman was kind of like nonchalant about this, like, well, why don't we do this? Are you afraid? Once he started actually attacking Stone Cold's character and kind of saying, like, are you afraid? Stone Cold immediately went from jovial Stone Cold Steve Austin to, you fucking stepped over a line, I'm going to mud stomp your face into the ground.
I would love to see Stone Cold come back. I know a lot of fans would love to see Stone Cold come back. As soon as the glass breaks, people lose their shit.
Oh, yeah, I do. I rip my shirt off. that's how freaking excited I would be.
Knowing the injuries that he's gone through and what he has, him going up against Brock Lesnar, I would be worried about him.
I'm not too worried. In all honesty, Stone Cold has basically had several years of rest. He didn't give his neck enough rest when he originally got that injury. He was okay to come back into wrestling, but personally I believe that something like that, a major injury like that, needs at least a couple more years. But Vince was practically begging for him to come back, and as we all know, Steve Austin loves to entertain the audience, so he wasn't going to stay away for very long. However, he has had several years of rest. Now, this I equate to what happened with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels suffered a very bad back injury, which forced him to retire. Now, he actually retired shortly after his match against Stone Cold in WrestleMania, what was it, 12? I forget.
I think so.
But this was the one where Mike Tyson clocked him in the face.
Yeah.
After this particular pay-per-view, Shawn Michaels essentially retires, but he was already on the path of retiring because of his back injury that kept coming back to hurt him, very similar to Stone Cold's neck injury. Shawn Michaels disappears for roughly 6 to 8 years, and then, in story, is brought back into the WWE just as a funny, goofy guy who comes back. He likes to entertain people. He likes to come in, hang out with his buddy Triple H. Triple H just so happened to hit him with a damn car in the story. And Shawn Michaels challenged him to a street fight. Shawn Michaels was in full force back on the main roster and started up a new career for the next 10 years. True. Stone Cold Steve Austin could very well do the exact same thing. He retired back in 2006.
I think so.
2000. I think it was 2004. Either way,
early 2000s.
He has been resting for over 10 years. He could very well painkiller himself up and just train his ass off, because Stone Cold's still a pretty buff looking dude. I believe he does have a very, very good chance of coming back and being full force once more.
It would be nice. But we were talking about, if Taker is back, there's an option, because they're talking about, and this is in the internet community, that the Authority is going to be breaking up soon. Kane being the first one to turn. If Taker's back, we can have the Brothers of Destruction again.
Oh, absolutely. I would rather have the Brothers of Destruction again than, the Corporation Part 2.
Yeah.
This was the dumbest damn gimmick they've done in the last 10 years.
Because it's not a good corporation. Vince McMahon did the corporation, and he did it good.
People Power was actually more interesting than the Authority. The Authority is just basically that bully in high school that keeps throwing shit in your face, and the teachers just won't do anything about it. Like, they see it. And all they do, Timmy, stop throwing your pudding in Jimmy's face. Timmy, seriously, stop. Every day, Timmy, it's always your chocolate pudding. You throw it in his face. That's not right, Timmy. Stop. That's what's going on with the Authority. People Power was at least a little goofy.
All right, we are talking as two very big fans, coming from someone who is just starting to be a fan, whether she admits it or not. Undertaker coming back to you, since you've seen him at WrestleMania, both of the last WrestleManias.
And I've seen pretty much all of his matches because we watched a bunch of them.
Netflix had the build up to the 22nd match where he lost to Brock Lesnar. They had all 21 matches before that.
The best part of his entrance, though, was your giddy little, turning into a kid, jumping up and down on the couch. Oh my God, he's back! Oh my God! It was so funny. But
I rip my shirt off when I hear the glass shatter.
He fangirled over it.
But what does it mean? Is it something that you could get a hold of? Because would this be something to bring you into actually admitting that you're a fan? Maybe. I mean... That's how it starts.
I already said that, we've talked about, The Rock and stuff like that, because that was kind of originally what drew me in, but I think, Undertaker's a good character that I would like to see come back.
You saw him. He's back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm talking about, back. He's not just going to come every once in a while.
Well, that was the stipulation for certain legends coming back, like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar had just come off of his MMA career with the UFC. He had also had his abdominal surgery.
Right, and I had seen the match where, Brock was his one loss, and that was a devastating match.
Brutal.
But Brock actually only had a finite amount of appearances every year. So every year he would only show up 12 times, which meant he would really only show up for very specific key pay-per-views and a Raw appearance here or there. Now, Brock has not actually wrestled on Raw for years now. Over 10 years? It's been a really long time since Brock has actually wrestled on Raw. He now just does promos where he comes in, beats the shit out of somebody, and then he eventually leaves.
Because they reworked his new contract to actually have him be more involved, which is why the involvement with this build up to the Seth Rollins match was so much more involved than when he fought Roman Reigns, which was kind of like, oh look, Roman won WrestleMania. Oh look, they're never in the same building together.
Yeah.
I did like the whole story with the whole Brock and Seth, Seth using his cheap Money in the Bank move to get Brock's title from him, and when he was at his weakest point, and then Brock's like, you know what? I want that. You need to give that back to me. So we're gonna
You never took it from me. You pinned. You pinned Reigns. You didn't pin me. Give me that belt back, and we will settle this in the ring.
And I was right there with him because I think Seth is so douchey.
I think that's why he's such an amazing talent. He's so good at making you hate his guts.
Yes, you can tell a lot by how they have you feel towards them. He knows he's a bad guy. He thrives off of the crowd hating him.
Well, he plays the part of a slimy dirtbag. He does not. He depends on other people to win his fights for him, basically. And it's really? So that's why I was like...
It's very, I brought up with Kevin Owens, it's very old school bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
What hasn't happened since they did it, Money Inc. held on to their title simply by grabbing their toys and going home in the middle of a match.
Oh, yeah.
No heel had ever done that before, and they did it consistently. It finally took WrestleMania 9 for the referee to go, this match cannot be won by countout. And Money Inc. was like, whoa, no, we're leaving. And they lost it to the Steiner brothers. Seth Rollins brings that back to the newer fans, where the older fans like me and Brock is here, we can appreciate him doing stuff like that. The more you hate him, the more he's doing his job. And he's doing his job well.
Yeah. Jericho did the exact same thing towards the second half of the Attitude Era and the beginning of, what would you call it, the PG-13 era?
It's the PG-13 era.
Yeah. Jericho, when he was going heel, he did basically the exact same thing, and he was hated by so many people.
The Rock did it with his before he left for the third time. He went heel. The fans started to turn on him because it was, I'm back home, and a lot of them were like, for how long this time? So he ended up going back to the Hollywood version of Rock, where he would come out, make fun of the towns, make fun of the people. The downside with that is it's still The Rock and people love him.
Pointing out one thing, every single classically good wrestler since the 1980s has gone heel and face, at least at some point in their career. Every single one of them. Shawn Michaels went heel when he kicked Marty Jannetty right in the face.
Through the barbershop window!
And then what happened?
Wait, can you actually say that, like, Undertaker has been babyface?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Undertaker started off as a heel back in 1989 at Survivor Series. Took out Coco Beware in 30 seconds. Dominated Survivor Series. His first title match was against Hulk Hogan, who he won at a Survivor Series the next year with the help from Ric Flair. A couple years later, when he got Paul Bearer, a year later he got Paul Bearer, he ended up going against Kamala and became a babyface. And was a good guy, a babyface, for a really long time.
He was the darker side of being good, but still
he was still a good guy. Paul Bearer was able to control him with the urn, and then Paul Bearer turned heel, and that's when we got Mankind and stuff like that. And then after Mankind and Taker's rivalry, Taker created the Ministry of Darkness, where we got the APA, Midian,
Mabel turned into
Viscera. He went dark, and when we say he went dark, he went dark. Stone Cold got crucified on TV.
Buried alive matches were going on left and right.
And then he teamed up with Big Show, and one of the best things that ever happened on Monday Night Raw is someone said something in Big Show, and Taker took him under his wing, kind of thing. It's when he became the American Badass. Came out in the Harley. He goes, "You gonna pick that up?" And Big Show's like, "What?" He goes, "That punk card he just handed you." I was like, "Thank you." And that's when he became Big Evil. And Big Evil lasted for a long time, and he was a dominating heel. Because all they had at that point was Triple H, John Cena was heel at that time, and Taker, and Kane.
Yeah.
And that was it. And those were the four big heels. Everybody else was either a wishy-washy anti-hero or a good guy.
Or Jericho.
who's in a class all of his own.
Jericho can never be categorized with a bunch of other wrestlers. When you talk Jericho, you literally will be talking about one entity, which is Christian Jericho.
Okay, so John Cena, who is hands down one of the best workhorses in the WWE at this time.
Great, one of my
started off as a heel, went good, went heel, and is now good.
I just remember we were watching. I don't know what we were watching, but like he came out.
It was
Countdown. It was the Y2J or whatever. Like
Jericho.
Yeah.
Like the whole
the Ayatollah of rock and
they were doing the countdown or whatever, and he came out and like he was wearing that ditzy little ponytail on top of his head.
Talking about Jericho when he first showed up as Y2J and he had the little ponytail on top of his head.
Yeah, okay.
I just started dying laughing like, wait, what?
Now, Jericho came in as a heel, went babyface, went heel, left as a babyface, came back as a babyface, left as a heel. And then came back as a babyface and is now a babyface.
No, he came back as a secret heel, went babyface again.
Yeah.
Specifically, you gotta... Look, it was 1997.
But that ponytail was inexcusable. It was horrible.
They were talking about Y2K for the last couple of years. Actually, no, it was 1999. And they were talking about Y2K for a while.
And then he came up with Y2J.
He came up with the countdown thing.
And it was Raw is Jericho.
No,
forgive the pony thing.
It was bad, but all right. Great champion, never a bad guy. Rey Mysterio. Mysterio Jr. was never a heel.
No. That is 100% false. In WCW history, which is actually counted as now WWE history, Rey Mysterio went heel when he unmasked himself when he joined the NWO.
That was after Scott Hall threw him into the side of the trailer like a lawn dart.
Exactly. He went heel, unmasked
himself. They did. And he picked him up and threw him into the side of a trailer like a lawn dart.
His head hit it hard. You could hear the thud.
That was the episode that
they thought
it was a gang beating.
Yeah, there was an actual gang fight.
People who were outside the arena called the police.
Cody Rhodes was freaking the fuck out because he was watching it at home and called his dad like, "Dad, what's going on?" His dad's an asshole because his dad made him think that was
really happening. You can see when he throws him when Scott Hall throws Rey Mysterio, you can see the lights coming and you can hear the sirens.
Yeah.
They cut away really quickly because they had to go, whoa, 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 whoa. This is all, we're wrestlers. This is all part of our show.
All while Rey Mysterio is trying to fight off a freaking concussion.
Yeah. Okay, so Rock is a great champion. Triple H has been a heel, babyface. Rock's been a heel, babyface. For a while there, Hogan was the only one, but then he joined the NWO and went heel.
He started the NWO.
Yeah. Randy Savage went back and forth. Andre the Giant went from good guy to bad guy. Yeah, I would say that there's Bret Hart went back and forth. Shawn Michaels went back and forth.
Triple H.
I already said Triple H.
But nobody's ever gone back and forth like Triple H.
That's true.
Every 3 months he changes.
But he's always a fan favorite. That's the thing. It's like The Rock being a bad guy. People still love him. It doesn't matter. It's The Rock.
You hate to love him, but you love to hate him.
Yeah.
It's that freaking Rock. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, Stone Cold went from being a heel to a anti-hero to a babyface to a heel. Kurt Angle. Started off as heel, went babyface, went back to being a heel. There's not Kane, same thing. X-Pac. I don't want to bring up X-Pac in the tag team championships, but I have to.
Lou Thesz, Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
These two names are synonymous with legendary wrestlers, but the only reason why they never went heel is because no one was doing the good guy, bad guy thing.
No, they were doing the actual wrestling thing where matches would take 3 hours.
And Bruno Sammartino never lost the freaking title because nobody was ever strong enough to actually beat him in a wrestling match. Now, at that time, we did have Killer Kowalski doing the bad guy thing, and we had a Nature Boy going on.
Buddy Rogers.
But at the same time, let's go ahead and face
there was also Classy Freddie Blassie. This is way, way, way back when it was actually WWWF, which was Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which was owned by Vincent J. McMahon's dad. When I say they had 3-hour matches, they had 3-hour matches because it was real. I don't want to call what now is real
wrestling versus wrestling.
Yeah, there was a joke, the Everlasting Bear Hug.
Oh yeah.
In the 80s. A big guy would wrap the other guy into a bear hug, and it would last for 8 minutes. And the guy in the bear hug would always have that, they'd drop the arm 3 times. If it falls the 3rd time, they lose. It's always that halfway down, and then they pump up and stuff like that. Back in the WWWF, they would wrestle until one person couldn't go anymore. Like, they really, tore ligaments, pulled limbs out of sockets with submission moves, and they weren't high flyers. I think the biggest jump move they did was someone did a drop kick, and that was it.
Bob Backlund would jump off the middle rope to elbow drop somebody.
Yeah. So.
But he was supposed to be crazy anyway, so it didn't matter.
So, talking about Lou Thesz and Bruno Sammartino, I think, still holds the record for the longest title reign.
3 years running.
Because no one could beat him.
For 3 years. No one could beat Bruno Sammartino. On top of that, you also had, like I said, you had characters like Killer Kowalski. The only reason why he was a bad guy was because he was a foreigner, and he came up with the idea of a foreign bad guy because this was kind of like... This was a new thing that people were kind of playing around with a lot in comic books and some television shows. So because Killer Kowalski is like, I come from a foreign country. And I should be a bad guy. And his bad guy was amazing because he would grab the interviewer's microphone and be like, I'm going to tell you what happened in this ring. Fuck that guy. But, they didn't say fuck that guy.
But outside of kayfabe, nicest guy.
Oh, he was like.
Can I ask, what the hell is with Fandango?
In my opinion, he's quite possibly one of the worst talents they've had for a long time.
He's got talent, but his character is crap. Adam Rose is the same way. Adam Rose in NXT was really, really good. So much so that they brought him to the main roster, but they switched his character to Adam Rose and had him doing dancing and parties and shit like that. Both of them have skill. Characters are horrible.
Fandango, when he first came in, was pissing off my friends Andy and Kim because they both like to dance. They love to dance. Dancing is their shit. Kim actually was like, she was a dancer in high school. She was on the dance team and all that stuff. Andy is Mexican, and he's very stereotypical in a lot of ways. So naturally, he's obsessed with dancing. Whenever we go to a club or a bar, motherfucker has to dance with some pretty girl or something, if he's single. If he's not single, then he's dancing with his girlfriend, obviously. But dancers, and they hate his guts because they would constantly be pissed off at whatever he was doing, and they're like, that's not dancing! And then there I am, the wrestling fan, and I'm hating this guy because he's making one mistake after another. I'm like, that's not how you leapfrog. Stop kicking your leg out like that when you're trying to super kick. I don't know what the hell that was. It was like a half-ass drill. He looked retarded in the ring. Like, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So that was why my hatred for him began.
So, bad character. There's been tons of bad characters. We could do a whole other podcast about bad characters.
Yeah.
But this one is breaching over an hour, so I am going to have to draw this to a close. This has been our discussion about WWE and Battleground, and partially a history lesson for Wendy. If you don't have the WWE Network, give it a subscribe, or wait to watch it on YouTube. The matches were amazing. I was happy with all of the most of the outcomes. Were you?
I was disappointed in a few matches, obviously, but the actual results of the matches, not gonna lie, Wade Barrett beating R-Truth, loved it.
Randy Orton RKing Sheamus out of nowhere.
Randy Orton winning against Sheamus, love it. I would have actually been happy if it was Sheamus either way. My favorite current wrestler is Randy Orton. My favorite past wrestler is Stone Cold Steve Austin. My favorite all-time wrestler is Tatanka. I can explain that at a later time. But Randy Orton, love Randy Orton, love Sheamus.
Just gotta say, did not peg you as a Tatanka fan.
Why not?
We can talk about it later.
I'll explain that at a later time. But I hate the fucking New Day, so I'm glad that happened. I am absolutely...
New Day sucks. New Day sucks.
You all suck. One is a girl.
Well, I remember the first time I saw them, I'm like, who the hell are these preachy bastards?
I thought their whole
and of course,
Egyptian symbol looks stupid.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt beating Roman Reigns.
Love it.
Happy about that. Charlotte winning the triple threat.
I love Charlotte. I love the Outcasts. Every one of these girls definitely has my vote. I'm a huge fan of the Bellas. I've been a fan of the Bellas for a very long time. Love these ladies. But when it comes to new talent, new blood, and actual in-ring performances, oh my god, the Outcasts, I cannot lose with them.
And then John Cena beating Kevin Owens.
Fantastic.
And Brock Lesnar winning by disqualification because he was the one that was attacked.
Very true.
But
Seth Rollins handed to him
handed by The Undertaker. Like I said, happy about most of the way things ended. You're happy about most of the way things ended. What about you?
Yeah, I would have. I can't say I wish I saw it, but if I had saw it, I would have been rooting for Randy Orton in that one too.
Just to clarify, she thinks he's hot.
I think he's hot. Are you kidding me?
It's Randy Orton.
She wants to rub oil on this man, and I want to take pictures of this. That's where...
I remember, like, I like Roman Reigns. I was like, I immediately knew about the connection with The Rock, and you were like, what? And
you just love them Samoans.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Anyway.
And then I like the Outcasts. I don't like the Bella Twins. I'm kind of with the crowd on that one. But I do like Alicia Fox, so I don't know how that got thrown in there, but...
She's a mean girl.
Yeah.
She's kind of a self-absorbed bitch. That's
And
her
then,
shtick. For years.
I don't.
I'm sure she's happy about hearing that from you.
I don't really
you know-
care about Sasha, Naomi, and Tamina, but yeah, the Outcasts I like. I have more preference to.
Alicia Fox, the character, is a self-absorbed bitch. In person, I'm sure she's a sweetheart.
Or a self-absorbed bitch.
There's a possibility of either.
But yeah, and then I don't know.
You didn't care about John
It's-
Cena and Kevin
it's
Owens.
Whatever. But yeah, I would have liked to see Brock Lesnar like finally take that belt from Seth. But I understand what they did, and it was cool seeing Undertaker coming in. I'm not gonna lie.
So, thank you for listening this long. If you have, I hope we've entertained you. I once again am Cole Spire. I'm here with
Brockus.
and
Wendy.
and we hope to hope you guys join us again. Maybe we'll talk about some WWE or maybe video games next time. Who knows? Thank you for listening, and have a good night, everybody.